This video is to help show you how to find any well activity that might be happening on your property using the Oil and Gas Division's website at dmr.nd.gov/oil and gas. There's a few different ways to do this. One option would be using the well search, which is on the left-hand side navigation. By clicking on well search, the most applicable information that you'll need is the section, township, and range of the property that you are interested in. Please note that when using the well search feature, this is going to pull up any wells where the surface location is in that section that you've entered. So if it's a horizontal well where the surface location is on a section nearby, but horizontally drills into your section, it may not show in this list, which is where the GIS map server will come in handy, and I'll show you that in a second. So using this well search feature, you're just going to enter in the section, township, and range. And click submit. This shows that there's one well with a surface location on that section. It's got the file number, CTB number, which stands for Central Tank Battery, API number, the well type, status, status date, total depth, location, operator, well name, and field. If you're unsure of what some of these codes mean, up here on the top left-hand side, there is a section that says code definitions. You can click here and you can actually use this drop-down menu to look up what some of these different acronyms are referring to. So you can click well status, click on get list, and here you can see if that well says DRL under the well status, that means that well is currently drilling. The second way to check activity would be to use the GIS map server. So again, at dmr.nd.gov/oil and gas, you'll click on GIS map server on the left-hand navigation, which will open up a new window, which is the Oil and Gas Division's ArcIMS viewer. Here you'll see a statewide picture of all of the oil and gas activity in the state. Because it is zoomed out so far, you really can only see where the drilling rigs are located, and then all of the red would be where oil fields are located as well. If you have a general idea of where your property might be, you can just use zoom in, just making sure that zoom in is highlighted in yellow, and then just click and drag over the area that you're interested in and continue to click and drag in until you get perhaps to an area that looks familiar where you can help identify any activity in your area. Over on the left-hand side, you can just click on previous view, and that actually backtracks to the last place you looked. If it's helpful to see cities, on the right-hand side, you can turn on more layers to view. Under Other, you'll click on the folder, click on Corporate Boundaries, and we'll just turn on by checking the box for city boundaries. Making sure that we're still on zoom in, we'll just zoom in a little closer, let's say to the city of Grano, knowing perhaps that our property is just outside where we can see that there's one well that has been drilled in that specific section. If you want to know more about that well, on the left-hand side, you can click on Rect Identify and just click and drag a box over that well. Letting go of your mouse, more information will pop up in this wells section that'll give you a bit more detail about that well down below. This is a great way in case you need the file number for the well, the operator name, spud date, or other information. Resuming our view, you can see that I've clicked on View Entire State, which has shown me the entire state again, keeping in mind we did turn on all of the city boundaries, so we are seeing the cities listed now as well. But you can just type in your specific section, township, range by using the left-hand side navigation and clicking on Find Section. It'll give you some options down below where you can either manually enter your township, range, and section, making sure if you choose that option, you're clicking on this bottom radio dial, or you can use the drop-down options. And section 3, choosing the top radio dial in this case, and then click Zoom to Section. This has zoomed in and then also highlighted in green the specific section that I just typed in that may or may not be my property. And this gives me an idea that there's been one horizontal well that's drilled and is going down into 2 sections. And you can even see some of the surrounding activity around this well. Again, if you want to know more information, just make sure that the radio dial on the wells tab is clicked. The left-hand side where it says Rect Identify is yellow, and then just drag a little box, click and drag around that well. And here we can see more information about the well in particular that has been drilled on that section. If you'd like to see spacing units around that well, you can go over here on the right-hand side, looking at your oil and gas layers, and you can turn on the layer for drilling and spacing by checking this box. And here you can see that this well is spaced with 2 sections, 3 and 10.